very good friend of mine, the Prime Minister of Pakistan. We're talking about Kashmir and the relation to what's going on with Pakistan and India, and if we can help. My friend, and thank you very much. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I would say we've never been closer with Pakistan than we are right now.
Russia is breathing down on Ukraine's neck. Imran Khan is arriving in a tense Moscow. The last official visit by a Pakistani prime minister was in 1999, 23 years ago. So Imran Khan's trip is the first in more than 2 decades.
First, he was removed from office. Now, Imran Khan is imprisoned. The former Pakistani leader has been convicted of corruption and barred from elections for 5 years. So, is this the end of Imran Khan's political career?
Khan was sacked from power in April 2022 after he lost a no-confidence vote in parliament. He alleged he knew of the cipher while he was in office, which, according to him, proved the U.S. hatched a conspiracy with the help of his political opponents and the Pakistani military to remove him. The U.S. was allegedly unhappy with Khan's foreign policy and his visit to Russia. Khan alleged that the United States was behind a foreign conspiracy to oust him in a regime change, and that he had written evidence attesting to this.
If you think USAID had a role in election interference in the US in 2020 and Indian elections in 2024.
So it could have had a role. There were a lot of bad things that happened in 2020. I think bad things happened in 2024, but it was too big to rig.
President Donald Trump claims Hungarian-American billionaire George Soros is responsible for interfering in the political landscape of many countries.
Since early 2023, the Hungarian-American financier philanthropist emerged as a central target of the BJP's rhetoric, which accused Soros of sponsoring the country's opposition and backing other Modi critics with the intent of destabilizing India. Those accusations sharpened ahead of the 2024 parliamentary elections, in which the Hindu majoritarian BJP lost its majority for the first time in a decade, though it still secured enough seats to cobble together a coalition government. But the campaign had reached fever pitch in those days, with the BJP even accusing the U.S. Department of State of colluding with Soros to undermine Modi. The Department of Government Efficiency, headed by Elon Musk, put out a tweet on X saying $21 million from U.S. taxpayer dollars was going to be spent on voter turnout in India, which has been canceled. The entry on India was part of a long list of other items on which U.S. taxpayer money was to be spent, as per the tweet. The department noted that $486 million was to be sent to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $21 million for voter turnout in India. The Indian government has not officially responded to the funding withdrawal, but the BJP MP Nishikant Dubey urged the government to investigate organizations receiving USAID funding, alleging that many of them were responsible for unrest in the country and had affiliations with the Congress Party. Dubey claimed these organizations were involved in protests against the Agnivir program, advocated for caste-based censuses, and supported Naxal activities. His comments triggered protests from Congress MPs, who attempted to raise a point of order. However, presiding officer Sandhya Ray ruled that such interventions were not permitted during 0 hour. Dubey also asserted that Trump had shut down USAID, arguing that the agency had been using its funds to destabilize governments worldwide. Despite the hype, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first visit to Washington under Donald Trump's second term was a sober, business-first affair, unsurprising for a working visit, which lacks the pomp of a state visit. Trump announced expanded U.S. military sales to India from 2025, including F-35 jets, along with increased oil and gas exports to narrow the trade deficit. Both sides agreed to negotiate a trade deal and finalize a new defense framework. A U.S. court has approved the extradition of Chicago businessman Tahawar Rana to India, where he is wanted for his role in the 2008 terror attack in Mumbai. Rana was convicted in 2011 of supporting an Islamic militant group blamed for the attack on India's financial capital that killed 166 people. But he was cleared of the more serious charge of helping plot the attack. The businessman was arrested after an extradition request by India in 2020. Rana, who denied all the charges against him, had challenged India's extradition request, which was also supported by the U.S. government. but a court consented his extradition. The court said that Rana had been charged in India with criminal conspiracy, committing terrorist acts and murder, all of which are extraditable offenses as per the treaty between U.S. and India. It, however, added that Rana will remain in U.S. custody till the Secretary of State to India takes final decision on his extradition.